if I did journalism, no. If you are interested in sports, then this is an industry which is growing in India today. Earlier, India was not much of a sporting country. I'd broken my thumb. I was plastered. Sachin was blue and black. He came to me and he was saying, "Do you have your camera with you?" I said, "No, why?" He says, "I want you to see the injury," and he showed me all the injuries. He had taken so many blows against the West Indies to ensure India beats. That was the kind of cricket he was. And I walk into the stadium today also, if I walk in now, I feel it's more like a symmetry there. There are 11 dead people. I've seen journalists instigating players against players. And I used to see that. I said, what kind of sick people are these? Just to get a story out of you, they would come and trigger on Dravid versus Ganguly, or Ganguly and Dravid versus Sachin. So I used to wonder, what are they doing that? I mean, we are passionate so that India do well. But these guys, there were a couple of them, I shouldn't name them, but these were dirty people. Venkatesh Prasad was being treated badly by the team management, by Sourav and the others. Unfortunately, I mean, way we see most of the cricketers talk about sports journalists today. Hey, nobody comes to the ground. They're told to write this, they write that. I said, that's not what we wanted. Surprised because his girlfriend from Bangalore had sent him the thing, because he had become like a balloon. He was not fielding. That is where I first bumped into VVS Laxman, one of the greatest cricketers India has produced. Sachin began the show. I mean, he was the one who triggered it. As I'm in the profession, I'm also learning and growing, and I see a VVS Laxman come up, I see a Rahul Dravid come up, I see a Kumble come up. I wrote about Jadeja when he was up to a lot of tricks. I'm talking about Ajay Jadeja. He was pretty annoyed. He brought the cutting to me. We were in England. He said, "How can you write like this?" Azhar and Sidhu fighting. And Sidhu left the team in England. We were all there. Sidhu just got off because there was other issues. KSA had no business to send its CEO to go meet the chief secretary to get permission on behalf of RCB. Quality of cricket, you should have a passion for the sport. Whichever sport you're going to write about or talk about, you need to have a passion for it. I stumbled into journalism. Allow any injustice to happen to the sports person, at least to the cricketer and to the game. That is how I stood. Even today, after so many years, I still have the same values. I mean, the way I looked at Chinnaswamy Stadium was the sanctum sanctorum. For me, it was a temple. Rajan Bala used to be there. He was one of the best cricket writers we had in the country. BCom graduate playing cricket. I was actually playing for Central Excise and Customs. As a cricketer who was going to be a cricket writer. Tell people by playing a match in Chennai, they used to call us cub reporters or sub-editors and all this. My boss, so I had no other option. I just can't walk into a hockey ground and say, I'm writing hockey. At that point in time, I had gone in, my salary was just about 390 rupees. There was a collapse in the team. They lost 5 wickets in no time. And Bangalore is where my base is as a cricketer, as a person who's lived all my life here. Modi or whether Siddaramaiah or anybody for that matter, what is wrong is wrong. Where you need to say good work is done, good work. So I've traveled the world. I've traveled with the Indian team. Want to be a 5 trillion, 10 trillion, 20 trillion. First look at your forest wealth. You should have 33%. You have less than 20%. Tiger is a flagship species, apex animal. When it is in good health, the forest is in good health, and the climate change has been brought about by us. Nodappa, I've left a job which I could have been holding even today. I could have been somebody continuing with my cricket writing. But I left something like that and I've come here, so I am not going to be worried about who's who.
So thank you very much for talking to Daily Salar. So my first question is, how did you start your journalism?
Oh, well, that's a very good question to ask. If you were to ask me if I did journalism, no.
Okay.
I was basically a BCom graduate playing cricket. And once Rajan Bala used to be there. He was one of the best cricket writers we had in the country. And he used to write about me. When he saw me playing, he knew the kind of cricket I played. So he one day met me. I was actually playing for Central Excise and Customs as a guest player, as a contract player. So I met him at the New Fields. We were playing a match. So he asked me what I was doing. So I said, no, I'm just waiting for my orders from Central Excise and Customs. So he said, that's the wrong place to go to.
Orders means you mean a government job?
Government job, yeah. Central Excise job. Since I'd already played 2 years for them. So he was very categorical in telling me, this is not the place for you to go. I said, why? I'm looking for a job. So he says, no, the way you play cricket, you're very straightforward. You're straight on in the field. I study people when they're on the field, and you will not fit for the job. I said, then what do I do? Then he said, join me. So I was quite shocked. I said, join you as what? He said, come as a cricket writer. Okay. Come as a cricket. So that was my beginning in journalism in '86. So what he did was wisely took me under his wings, took me to Chennai. That's where I started my journalism career.
What was this?
Indian Express.
Which year?
1986. So I went there, and he had already told many of them that this is a cricketer who was going to be a cricket writer. So there was a lot of awe in the cricketing circles there, saying, who's this guy who's come here? One of the best cricket writers are saying he's a good cricketer and he's come to write cricket and all. So a lot of chirping was there. So he ensured that I proved my point by playing a match against some of the big guys there. They had a Ranji Trophy selection match happening, but somehow they got me in between, involved in that match. So I went and fielded, and I showed them what kind of fielder I was, because I was a very good cricketer and I was an outstanding fielder. So that gave an impression, and then they realized, oh, this guy can bowl as well. So I bowled against them, and these were all senior Tamil Nadu cricketers. So they all knew, oh, this guy knew his game. So that's how it started off. And also there was another incident where he also wanted me to tell people by playing a match in Chennai that you are arrived here, kind of thing. So I was saying, see, I played cricket, there's nothing to prove to anybody. Now I've joined as a profession, as a cricket they used to call us cub reporters or sub editors and all this stuff. So I was playing a match at the Pachepa ground for GEMS CC. It's a second division match. And I had broken my thumb. I was plastered. I had a plaster.
When you were playing?
And I was playing in that thing. In the previous game, I was injured somewhere else. So he insisted that I play the match.
Okay. With that injury?
So I said, this hand, how do I play? He said, no, I want you to play. That's it. So he was my boss. So I had no other option. And he was so good that at that point in time, I had gone in. My salary was just about 390 rupees. So he had kept me in his house only. So I was living virtually with him, learning from him. So when he said, you go and play, I said, I had no other go. But during that match, I told the captain, one Mr. Money, I said, listen, don't even think I'm going to bat. Just for his sake, I'm here. So he said, no, if boss gets angry, I'm going to be fired. You have to be playing in the 11. So I said, okay, take care, whatever it is. We lost the toss and we put into bat. So I was looking at batting at number 8, 9, 10 somewhere, just to make up the numbers to tell my boss that I've done what you wanted me to do. But there was a collapse in the team. They lost 5 wickets in no time. They were 40 for 5 or whatever. So the captain looks up to me and says, listen, there's nobody else who can go and bat. Why don't you go in? So I went with my broken hand. With basically my bottom hand I was playing. This was just the guiding hand. I was using it to flick and guide the ball. So the captain and me, when he came into bat, we put on about 147 runs partnership. I scored 47 with his broken thumb, and that was it. So everybody in Chennai got to know this guy is the thing. So the statement that my boss wanted to make to them was not just he's a cricketer, he's going to be a cricket writer with us. That gave me a fillip. So everybody knew when I walked into Chipok, the Marina ground or Pachapa ground or railway ground, they knew this was a cricketer, a genuine cricketer who had been brought into journalism. So that is the kind of thing that my guru, Mr. Rajan Bala, created, and that lifted me. And soon I was drafted back to Bangalore, and Bangalore is where my base is as a cricketer, as a person who's lived all my life here. So I established myself as one of the top cricket writers in the country. And one thing that he always told me was Rajan Bala. I always respect him, a lot of respect for him. He said, when you're on the field, I want you to be there from ball one to the last ball pulled. So the way he trained me was something, he said, before the match starts, you got to be there. You need to understand who, why, which side the flag was blowing. Those days we used to have flags around the boundary. So you got to understand which way the wind is blowing. So you got to be prepared for that. And why a particular bowler is bowling with the wind or against the wind. So all these things I had to jot down. So I had to prepare myself before I went to meet him for the report, for the day's report. I had to have everything jotted down. And the player, what kind of shot he played, what was his strength. So that is the kind of training he gave me. And having played competitive cricket myself, I could bring both together, my cricketing skills and my cricket writing ability together. That really gave me a kind of a platform from where there was no looking back. I mean, when you have a boss backing you, I mean, one of the best cricket writers in the country, an awesome cricketer himself. So when he is backing you, you have everything going your way. And I took off. I mean, I'm privileged. I thank God, because I could have been anywhere in a bank or even customs or wherever I could have got a job, because I definitely needed a job at that stage. But that invitation, taking me under his fold, keeping me at his home, nurturing me, preparing me, that took me miles and miles away.
So can we say sports journalism was not by choice, by chance?
Yeah, it was accidental rather than choice. It was accidental. I didn't have a choice then. It is just that it was, we meet at Indian High School grounds. It's called the New Fields ground those days. And that's how it triggered. So I say I stumbled into journalism. But fortunately, since my education was good, I was able to merge my ability to speak, write, and play as well, everything together, and took me. And today, if I sit here and be speaking to you, I should admit that I've been very, very fortunate. God has given me that opportunity, and I've traveled the world. I've traveled with the Indian team. And the way I wrote cricket was much, much different from what many used to write, because I could get into a batsman's shoe and say why he played that shot and what was the mistake he did and what kind of field was that, because you're sitting outside, you're watching 360 degrees. You're not watching a television, just what's happening there. So my training with him was, he said, everything you need to notice. What is the captain trying to do? Why is the fielder being set like this? Why is the fielder being set like this? And what the bowler has been asked to do. So that really gave me, and when I started writing, I had a lot of following. I was fortunate. And some of the international cricketers themselves come and say, you write brilliantly. So I said, thanks to my boss. Of course, I thank God for everything that I am today.
What qualities are required to be a good sports journalist?
One is, I would say, being honest. When I talk about being honest, it's saying being honest to yourself. Because when you're going to take up an assignment, you need to know what you're going to talk about, what you're going to write about. Supposing I'm a cricket writer, I'm a cricketer, I'm doing cricket writing, I'm asked to go and cover a hockey match, I should know something about hockey. I should know which are the teams involved, what is the position, who are the players, what is the legacy of this hockey tournament, and all that stuff. So I just can't walk into a hockey ground and say, I'm writing hockey. That I won't be doing justice to myself. When I'm not doing justice to myself, I'm not doing justice to others. So that is something that most of our journalists need to do. They need to do a research. Supposing I'm doing an interview with somebody, I should know what I'm going to ask the questions around. Because if I'm not prepared for it, then I'll find myself hollow and I'm not doing justice to my readers. So that is something they always say. And of course, you need to have played some quality of cricket. You should have a passion for the sport. Whichever sport you're going to write about or talk about, you need to have a passion for it. So just you can't just be placid and say, okay, I've been given an assignment. My boss has sent me for a volleyball match. I'm going there and coming back and say so and so beat so and so the scores and all this stuff. You need to bring some life into that. So that is something that I had kind of advantage because having played cricket, competitive cricket. That I could bring in the sport into that. And also what I did when I stopped playing cricket, I told myself, even today I tell myself, that I will not allow any injustice to happen to the sports person, at least to the cricketer and to the game. That is how I stood. Even today, after so many years, I still have the same values. When I stepped out of cricket, when I joined as a writer, cricket writer, I made it a vow saying that I am going in, I'm going to ensure that no injustice is done to any cricketer anymore.
You just now spoke about the injustice done to no cricketers. How do you think the RCB tragedy, what happened in Bangalore?
That's very, very sad. Even now, when I think about it, it really hurts me. That could have been certainly avoided. Just to please somebody, you don't do an event haphazardly. It was not even thought about properly. No arrangements were made. Then you get the people in. I don't compromise on that. When I walk into the stadium today also, if I walk in now, I feel it's more like a cemetery there. There are 11 dead people. I mean, the way I looked at Chinnaswamy Stadium was the sanctum sanctorum. For me, it was a temple. Today, it's a graveyard. So that could have been certainly avoided, and I always blame the KSA for this. They might say we were helpless and all, because I'm being very, very open in that, saying that KSA had no business to send its CEO to go meet the Chief Secretary to get permission on behalf of RCB. RCB as an event management company, DNA, they were responsible for that. Why did KSA send its CEO to meet the chief secretary? So that is where I put my finger down. And I said, you guys are responsible for these deaths. Yes, you might say RCB did this, poor police were blamed. How can the police manage everything? So I even today, if I have to call it out, I say it is the responsibility of the managing committee that failed. There should be held as culpable and they should have been arrested. They got away because of their political connects. If you ask me, if it had happened yesterday, I would still say KSA is the culprit. There's no two ways about that.
You have been writing, almost for 24 years you have worked as a sports journalist. How do you see cricket has changed from 1 day to 3 day series, then IPL,
Yeah, cricket has evolved. The kind of cricket we were playing and the kind of cricket I was writing about was usually different. Yes, Test cricket as its own kind of a place in cricketing circles. It is always revered. Cricket, as Test cricket is concerned, it is still there. But what has happened is how Test cricket also has changed. It's being impacted by the quality of cricket they play. The one-day crickets they were playing, now they come to T20 cricket. So now you're seeing earlier 5-day matches, test matches. Used to be, some people used to say it's taking too long, it is getting bored. And people used to take for 5.5 hours to score just about 200 runs, 220 runs. Now what has happened because of the influence of T20, first we had the influence of the 50-over matches. Now the T20 comes in, even Test cricket has become faster. The results are coming in 3 days, maximum 3.5 days. So cricket has changed. And for the thing is, we talk about Kerry Packer bringing pyjama cricket. Okay? We said gentlemen's cricketers, and then we had pyjama cricketers. Today it's what?
Entertainment.
Yeah, it is basically entertainment.
And make money.
You keep your test cricket aside, the rest of the cricket is entertainment. It's all about making money. And we have these products called cricketers. They're used and thrown. So that's all it's about. So it's a business, commercial aspect of it. The love, the passion is all gone. If you ask a cricketer today, does he have the confidence that he'll play at least for 2-3 years? He doesn't have. He says, one injury and I'm gone out. And the amount of cricket they play today is ridiculous. They finish their international cricket, then they're playing the IPL, or then they're playing the domestic cricket. So there's so much of impact on the body. Your body can't take that. Because we used to watch the great Gavaskars and the G.R. Vishwanaths play cricket, and we filled with such thing with watching them playing. Today, if you ask me what happened yesterday's IPL match, I probably wouldn't know. Maybe I can recall what Gavaskar did in the West Indies in 1971, or what Gundappa Vishwanath did in 73-74 series against the West Indies. I can recall that. But if you ask the rapid fire cricket scenario today, nobody knows. We're all blank. So that cricket was different. Today, yes, money is good, but the quality of cricket is not that great. You take your Indian team itself now. At one time, we used to create spin tracks to bowl out opponents from Australia, West Indies, or England, or anywhere. Today, our boys don't play on even spin tracks. New Zealand's result is fantastic.
Yeah.
They beat us 3-0. South Africa beat us 2-0 on turning wickets. So it is all changed. The quality of cricket is pathetic. The noise is bigger. The money is bigger. But if you ask me as a cricketer, a passionate cricketer who loves the cricket, loves the game, I would say today's cricket is not that big at all. I mean, might be bringing money, noise, and all this stuff, but it doesn't, keep me there for long. I might watch about 2 hours, 3 hours, and get out of it. Those days when you used to watch a Gavaskar bat or a G.R. Vishwanath bat, we were glued. But now we don't have that passion for that. So game has changed. Well, it has to. Times have changed. I mean, where we lived those days and where we live today is entirely different.
What skills should young journalists prepare themselves to get into sports journalism?
I mean, see, in my case, I stumbled into journalism. As a cricketer, I stumbled into cricket. Now, if a youngster wants to be a sports journalist, he should have the passion. You should have the things, okay, I want to be somebody, I want to do this. So he has to, first of all, know the basics of the game, whichever game he chooses. He needs to understand the game, he needs to understand the history of the game, he needs to understand who the players are involved, what have they achieved, how the game is changing. So a youngster, if he is getting into sports journalism, I would ask him to be on the ground, not sitting in the office and doing just somebody sends you reports, scores, and then you type out the score saying so-and-so beat so-and-so. For him to get the best out of himself would be to be on the spot, to watch the game, watch how players react, the emotions, all that, imbibe that, and then you're able to express yourself better. So that is where you will get a reckoning, you'll be recognized also. Otherwise today, unfortunately, where we see most of the cricketers talk about sports journalists today, nobody comes to the ground, they're told to write this, they write. I said, that's not what we wanted. Because for me, I would definitely tell my younger journalist friends saying that you have let yourself down. You need to be at the ground, not selective matches. Every game you should have a passion to go there. I was fortunate, I was trained by Rajan Bala. But after that, who? So we have done our bit. When I was holding charge in Deccan Herald and Times of India, I used to motivate people to do that. But I don't see that happening anymore. So I would want them to first be involved in whatever they do. be honest to the profession they are and be on the spot to understand, then you will be able to relate better, write better.
I mean, everybody can't be Joseph Hoover because Joseph Hoover had the passion towards cricket. He used to play cricket. Then, he had a skill of writing. Then Rajan Bala, who came, helped you out. But what about others? Is just having knowledge about cricket is enough, or even the journalism skills also plays an important role?
See, one is having knowledge about the game always helps. Always helps. Maybe in my case, I was blessed. God gave me the opportunities to play and then be taken under the wings by one of the biggest cricket writers in the thing. So I would want our journalists today saying that knowing the game is fine, but you need to have the passion. And you need to say that I am going to achieve something. You can't just sit back and let things go on. You can't expect things to come to you. You need to go chase things. See, I was very lucky. If you look at it, I was fortunate to cover even the Newton Superstar Under-12 tournaments. That is where I first bumped into VVS Laxman, one of the greatest cricketers India has produced. In a match in Vijayawada, he got 5 wickets for 21 runs. I've written about him. I was in Bangalore. I was sent to cover the match from here to Vijayawada because ML Jayasima was running the tournament. So my boss Rajan Bala sent me there. So I saw Laxman there and I said, Laxman even batted, he did well. So as I see most of the players, like even Karnataka players and Tamil Nadu players and also Srinath, Srinath, or here J. Arun Kumar, A. Vijay, T. Vijay, the names I can bring out. So I've seen them grow. As I'm in the profession, I'm also learning and growing, and I see a VVS Laxman come up, I see a Rahul Dravid come up, I see a Kumble come up. So that many of cricketers, I've seen them grow from their junior levels. So that's being fortunate. And today, if I'm able to call up a VVS and relate something else, because that is the confidence they have in me.
And that connection.
And also the great thing was, I've been very, very lucky. This is something that I should admit. On tours, when I was traveling with the Indian team, I was with Deccan Herald. Most of my traveling I did thanks to Deccan Herald. And what used to happen was, supposing there's a story to be written, I used to get a call saying that we want a special report from Dravid or Sachin or Ganguly or Kumble or Javagal or anybody for that matter. So they say we want that. Now the time zones used to be different.
Yeah.
If I'm in South Africa, 4.5 hours. Then you're in New Zealand, we are ahead of time, almost 7 hours, 7.5 hours. If you're in Australia, you're almost 4.5 hours to 5 hours different. England is a different zone. West Indies is another crazy zone. You just can't cover cricket there. So what used to happen when my office calls me, I say, okay, I'll do the story. And the confidence the cricketers had with me was, I had a good relationship with them because I've seen them grow. So I could write what I wanted to. And I used to tell them, saying, hey, this is what I've written about you. No worries. You're safe. You go and write, no problem. So I didn't have to interview them or specifically ask them, this is what. So I could safely quote them. So that is the kind of confidence that was given. In fact, I used to, with Deccan Herald, we used to have this auction replay, charity show. Now, Harsha Bhogle... Auction replay for charity, for the Indian cricketers.
Okay.
But Deccan Herald, I used to do it. Sachin began the show. I mean, he was the one who triggered it. And what happened was, Harsha Bhogle was aghast. He says, these boys believe you, they trust you. So Harsha Bhogle, in fact, he wrote about it. So I said, Harsha, that's the way it has been. I've been fortunate. So Harsha and me have had good relationships. I mean, we have traveled together. So that is what he also recognized. He said, everybody trusts you. I said, that is the kind of thing I built with them. And it's not that I was soft on them. If they did anything wrong, I used to write about them.
Any incident?
Oh, I would say,
don't ever call me back. Or I don't want to see you, something like that.
I mean, it has happened.
Like who?
Like when I wrote about Jadeja when he was up to a lot of tricks. I'm talking about Ajay Jadeja. He was pretty annoyed. He brought the cutting to me. We were in England. He said, "How can you write like this?" I said, I was quite surprised because his girlfriend from Bangalore had sent him the thing because he had become like a balloon. He was not fielding. And I, being a good fielder, I had the thing, I could write about it. And when he came and told me, how could you write about it? I said, yeah, of course I can write about it because you're not doing what you should be doing. So let's not get into that because I can feel better than you. So I had the guts to tell him that. And there have been incidences. I mean, I've called out players who have been wrong. I mean, if they've done anything wrong, I've told them. And there have been incidents when I've seen journalists. This is very interesting for you. I've seen journalists instigating players against players. And I used to see that. I said, what kind of sick people are these? Just to get a story out of you, they would come and trigger on Dravid versus Ganguly or Ganguly and Dravid versus Sachin. So I used to wonder, what are they doing that? I mean, we are passionate so that India do well. But these guys, there were a couple of them, I shouldn't name them, but these were dirty people who wanted to divide the team, who wanted to throw something into the mind of the thing so that they will have something to write about. They didn't bother about India winning because they themselves were involved in betting. Right?
Okay.
So I, at one time in the West Indies, Sachin was injured badly in the West Indies. He got Sourav got 70 in that match. Sachin got 100. We beat West Indies in Trinidad. So we were playing at St. Lucia. And Sachin was blue and black. He came to me and he was saying, do you have your camera with you? I said, no, why? He says, I want you to see the injury. And he showed me all the injuries. He had taken so many blows against the West Indies to ensure India beats. That was the kind of cricket he was. So as we were talking, then I told him, there are certain players, who are being influenced by these journalists, which is not good for the Indian team. So Sachin heard me for about 15 minutes because he wasn't playing, and it was only a 3-day match, a practice match. So I did, Sachin, this is something which is bad for Indian cricket. You need to solve this. So Sachin, very day, he called all the members and gave them a piece of their mind saying this has to be stopped.
It's about the image damage.
Yeah, because I told him, this is not what we want for the Indian team. Some journalists coming in playing Sachin versus Ganguly, Ganguly versus Dravid, or somebody against somebody. That's not what we wanted. But what happened during the tour, there was a lot of disturbance. Obviously, these guys heard about it and players also spoke about it. So these journalists were disturbed and all that. They came and told me. I said, listen, for me, my Indian team is important. I don't care about who's who. For me, I'm writing cricket. I will write the way I should write cricket, and I will do whatever best in the interest of Indian sport, Indian cricket, and for the cricketers. So I didn't want somebody to come and cast aspersions and create that kind of thing. And I've seen, it was not just one-off incidents. I've seen many incidences, which I thought sometime I would be writing, talking. You have been very fortunate to get this out of me. Somewhere triggered, but this is honest submission I make because I did tell Sachin that things are not going well because some journalists specifically are disturbing the team, and that was a good thing I did. End of the day, the message went to everybody saying that watch out for this elements.
There are people
dirty
watching
elements.
you.
That was good. Of course, these elements were unhappy. It doesn't matter to me. They were nobody to me either.
But don't you think it's been carried now? Because still what we see whenever there's a cricket match happening, we still get those of gossip stories.
Yeah, see, I noticed that. See, I do notice that when one cricketer is unhappy, one journalist tries to settle up at him and get something out of it. That's news industry. You want to see what happened, who triggered what. So that kind of things happen. I was just before coming to you, in fact, I was just browsing through some of my writings in the past because I was looking for something else. There I find an article I wrote about Venkatesh Prasad. Right? Now we were on a tour in South Africa, Port Elizabeth match. Venkatesh Prasad was being treated badly by the team management, by Sourav and the others. So Venki was very upset, and the team manager, Dr. Mahendra Bhargav, he was a doctor. Um, he was from Madhya Pradesh. Very gentle person, because he was traveling with the team also for many years. He knew me. He came and told me, "See, Venki is in this position. Why don't you have a word with him?" I said, "What are you saying?" Then I went and saw Venki was, the dressing room was here. He was sitting in the Port Elizabeth cricket office and just being by himself. Then I had a word with him. Then he was pretty, very disturbed. I felt very sad to see him in that scenario. I was scared also, because he had almost been sidelined and cast away by the team management. And he also opened up saying that nobody is even listening to me. I'm being treated like this, which Dr. Bhargava realized, and he said, "It's better you have a word with him." Maybe at that stage, when I spoke to him, it helped him or not, but at least it helped him come out of that anger, the frustration, the unhappiness that he was carrying. I mean, I've seen Azhar and Sidhu fighting. When Sidhu left the team in England, we were all there. Sidhu just got off because there was other issues. But here's the case where cricketers traveling with a team, and he's just been kept aside. That is not correct. That's not a team game. So I was reading that article, what I had written, and Venkatesh Prasad talks about saying that this is not the way to treat a player. The loneliness should never come. And that article was about me asking Venkatesh Prasad about how Sourav Ganguly was being treated.
Okay.
Because at that point of time, Sourav was being ousted from the team. So Venki, with all the experience, was saying, no, Sourav should not be treated like that. Somebody needs to talk to him. Somebody needs to talk to Sourav Ganguly, make him comfortable. He has to be given an opportunity to express himself. He cannot be sidelined this. He's done so much for Indian cricket. So he's been in that same scenario. But though he was hurt by Sourav, he was still supporting Sourav Ganguly in the interest of Indian cricket, in the interest of the Indian team. So when I bring this, I say, these things I've seen. I've seen a lot of things happen in Indian cricket. There's plenty that have happened. I've seen the match fixing happen. I've seen people being treated differently and people acting differently. I mean, I've had great times with this Indian team, because most of them were very genuinely interested in doing something for society, especially Sachin Tendulkar. Sourav, or even Sehwag, Kumble, Dravid, Javagal, anybody for that matter, BVS, Azu for that matter. So a lot of people would want to do something. Jadeja for that matter, Sidhu for that matter. A lot of people, they were passionate about doing something for society other than just playing cricket. We want to do something more kind of thing.
So how do you prepare yourself for covering a major sports event, and what would you tell people who are interested in sports journalism, how to prepare themselves for covering a big event, especially in sports?
See, supposing I'm covering a cricket match, I prepare myself pretty well. So I am at the ground the previous days to understand what the conditions are, what the pitch could be, though most of us can't read the pitch unless it's a doctored wicket for spin, which we Indians are very, very capable of doing. So I come, I understand that, and I also get to read out saying that the body language of the players, because God has given me the gift to understand who's confident, who's not confident. A lot of journalists used to come and ask me, what do you think about this match? And I used to give them the results. This is what will happen. So I used to have that ability to read the body language and also get across to talk to the team management or everybody for that matter, being some players or some key officials from BCCI or from KSA to understand what is happening and all. So I prepare myself before I go in for a match. So when I'm coming in to cover a match on the day, I'm well in time. So I come in, I understand, because I've been trained like that by Mr. Rajan Bala to understand where of course these days they don't have flags. Earlier the flag is to think, which area, which way the wind is blowing.
Now there's a rope.
So now is when I go and I always carry some dry leaf or something. I toss it to see that, okay, this is before entering the press box. So at least we have an idea. So what they're doing, who's bowling into the wind, who's bowling against the wind. This can't be written now, but at least in your mind you're prepared for that. You know why the ball is going to be doing this or that. So I'm prepared when I sit there. I love to write everything that happens. I have a book. I even now I treasure that book. From the first over, that's 6 balls in that over. Then second over, 1 to 6 balls. What did the bowler do? Where was the bowler? What was the field set? What the batsman did? So I have the entire thing written down. So what happens is, even if I flip somewhere, I can go back to that particular thing and check what happened, why did this happen. So if I've done 6 balls, I've written about 6 balls, I am now saying, where is the bowler bowling from? Is he bowling from the edge of the crease, or is bowling closer to the stumps? And what is the angle he's created, and what is the field he's set? So all that is now recorded. So it becomes easier for me because of my preparation. I'm able to present it better to the readers.
How important is building relationship with the players?
No, it's very important, because what happens is, player is also a human being. He's also got blood and all that kind of thing. So flesh and blood. So you need to understand he's also got emotions. He's also going to react differently in different scenarios, like how every human being does. So getting to know the person, saying that, be it Sachin Tendulkar or Virat Kohli or anybody for that matter, get to know the person so you know his temperament. How he is going to react to this, how he is going to react to another question. And now you've seen him as a player, and you're going to see him in person, asking him questions, doing an interview or in a press conference. So it's better to have an understanding so that there is he's also comfortable with you, then you're also, you know he's going to listen to you. Otherwise, a cricketer can just brush you aside and say, who the hell it is. I've seen cricket writers at a later stage going in front of somebody and saying hi, and they were to say hi to them and all this stuff. That's not what we should be doing. You should gain the respect of them. They have seen you, you have seen them, you have eyeballed each other, you know each other, you've reacted to their scenarios and all this stuff. So that should be a understanding and mutual respect for each other. So when you know somebody well, it becomes easier to write about the character, because you can also reach out to him and saying, this is what I want to write about, what do you think about, what do you have to say? You could have a different opinion, but at least getting his perspective is easy. That is how you build a relationship, so that you're not antagonizing him, nor are you giving the wrong message to your readers. By knowing you, I can ask you a question, you're reacting to that, I'm able to do it in a better way, rather than just sitting back and saying, okay, yeah, aisa kiya. No, that doesn't help at all. Knowing a cricketer or any sports person is always a benefit for the writers.
How has sports journalism changed since you started, and how do you think that right now the kind of sports journalism happening?
Sports journalism not changed much. That is because now we can say it's digital, more of digital than you see on the newsprint. Because I'm from the newsprint background. I did television for a few months only. So I'm from a newsprint background. So I see the same thing happening today. It's just that what I'm witnessing is that they are not able to write precisely what they should be writing. If you watch a match and you say the guy has done a mistake, how he got out, you should be able to do that. Rather than just saying, okay, I says this ball he bowled outside off stump, and this guy did this, that. You should be able to relate better, saying that, yes, why did he get out? So that will get them some level of respect among the readers also.
Print media, I think almost for 24 years, 25 years you worked. Then you had come for television. How this television came to you? Was it new for you? Were you okay for that? How did this television news offer came to you?
Oh, well, that's another interesting story. I was into cricket writing, and I'm pretty open in attacking people. If I have to call a spade, I call a spade. I don't think twice, whether it be whichever cricketer, whichever administrator. If it was hurting the game, hurting the cricketers, I was to call them out clearly I say what you've done is wrong. So I'm known for that. So I was with Indian Express where you have a fire in the belly. You're trained like that. Then you go to Technical, you're more into a conservative thing, but they allow you to write. When I come to another paper like the Times of India, they have restrictions on it. Don't hurt page 3 people, don't do this and all. I said, for me, everybody is same. Whether it is Anil Kumble or any Tom, Dick and Harry, it's the same for me. That's all I want to do, some service to society. Maybe I'm fortunate, I'm in a position to write. But, and then it happens suddenly when all this controversy about KSA is happening, because I'm always at loggerheads with KSA for the interest of the cricketers. It's not that I don't like anybody or I'm against somebody. I am writing for the sport. I am writing for the cricketer. I am writing for the association. If somebody doesn't like me, it doesn't matter to me, because I have to be honest.
You're just doing your job.
So all that happened when I was writing, and then I get a call from the new television, saying from TV9, saying that News 9 is starting, would you be interested? So I said, even I was looking at saying, okay, let's move on. So that's how I got in. I realized how things are different from the print to the television thing. Then I was there for briefly a few months because there were other reasons also I quit. So I can't actually expressing that because a lot of funny things happen in the television, especially TV9 those days. So I had to say thank you very much. I'm going where I want to go. And then that was an opening for me to do what I want to do. There was a calling, it was God's calling, I would say, because then it opened the doors for my passion to be in wildlife. I've always been passionate about wildlife conservation. And the day I was quitting, I just prayed to God and said that, give me the opportunity, God, so that I'll do cricket and wildlife together. And I'm so fortunate today that God has blessed me so much that I write cricket, I talk and do a lot of conservation work. And I've also got cricketers involved in the tournament called the Tiger Cup. It's one of the best known tournaments in Karnataka. We do the under 12, under 14, under 16 tournament to get the boys involved in conservation work, also enabling them to improve the skills as cricketers. So that way, look at this. I can't ask for anything more. I'm very, very blessed. I'm very, very honest to you, saying that God has blessed me so much that I'm doing what I want to do. How many people get to do that, I don't know.
So were you not happy with the TV journalism, or you were not okay with doing work there, or you want?
See, for me, when I quit, I told myself I'm going to do conservation as I was doing cricket without any compromise. So when I went into conservation, I'm a hardcore. I left a very good job. I could have been somebody in cricket writing even today, because I had the skills, I had the ability, I have the core thing. But I said, when I went into conservation, I said I'm giving my 100% there. That is where today, when I say something, I say it. I mean it. I don't compromise, whether it is Prime Minister Modi or whether it's Siddaramaiah or anybody for that matter. What is wrong is wrong. Where you need to say good work is done, good work. So I do not compromise in that. When people say, then I said, Nodappa, I've left a job which I could have been holding even today. I could have been somebody continuing with my cricket writing. But I left something like that and I've come here. So I am not going to be worried about who's who. It is going to hurt my conservation. I will definitely call out that person and call a spade without even compromise. So that way, I feel very comfortable in what I'm doing. Of course, I've been very fortunate that I have good contacts around the city or in the state or the country. God has given me the ability to write, the ability to speak. So all that has come together. So that way I'm enjoying it.
So how did you think about this wildlife conservation? Was it you had some plans before itself, or like just that offer came to you since you were not happy working in television?
No, I've always, even when I was working with Indian Express, beginning of my career, I used to take time off to go and write about incidents happening in Nagarole in Badipur. I used to go on my bike early mornings, 2:30 in the morning, like a mad fellow, ride on to Nagarole. If there's an incident, go there, take the photograph, take all the report from them, ask people what happened from either side of them. I'd come back home in the afternoon, have a wash, eat, and come back to office. I was in Indian Express. And then as I was coming there, I used to tell the news editor, the editor, saying that this is what I have. So they say, first do your cricket and come back. Sport. So I used to finish my cricket writing or whatever sport I was writing about. Then I used to give them my photograph with my writing. And there was on Gopinath earlier, one of the best photographers. He used to develop my pictures and it would get published. So there was always that passion to do something for conservation, which was encouraged by my editors in both Indian Express, Deccan Herald and Times of India.
What are the biggest challenges in wildlife conservation right now?
Oh, well, the biggest challenge today is we are losing our forests. If we lose our forests the way we are losing it today, I think we are all in big trouble. It's already a climate emergency. We all know what's happening around the world. When there are cloud bursts, there's so much of rain coming in. It is creating floods. There are landslides. It's washing away whatever crops you have grown. So nothing can be grown by the farmers. Everything is washed out. And the other extreme, there's drought. You can't grow anything. So we are in between these two clutches. And today, if we don't protect our forests, see, the National Forest Policy says there should be 33% forest cover in the country. We barely have 20%. Even that 20%, you are destroying. So what hope do we have? Without the forest, there is no water. Without the water, the farmers can't grow anything. Once the farmers don't grow anything, there's food security. Once you don't have anything to eat, you have health security, health issues. Then we are going to be drowned in, we are going to be trouble. So the essence of thing is, okay, you want economic GDP to be improved. Yes, I want my country to be a superpower. But you also have to look at the ecological GDP. Because if there is going to be ecological imbalance, your economic GDP is zero. Because you are wiped out completely. Whatever you have gained as an economic thing, you are losing it when your forests are going down because it is impacting your own people. A government should worry about people's good health also, not just about the numbers about, I want to be a 5 trillion, 10 trillion, 20 trillion. First, look at your forest wealth. You should have 33%. You have less than 20%. In that 20%, barely 4% is for wildlife conservation. That is for the protected areas. Even that is being smashed. You want linear projects, you want hydro projects, you want ecotourism projects, you want railway projects. You want to destroy everything? For what? End of the day, who's benefiting? All that economic GDP you spoke about is zero when you have an ecological imbalance.
How important is media coverage in protecting animals, forest and biodiversity?
The media has to play a bigger role. They have to play and they need to be consistent. We get support on and off. When there's an event when there's an incident, there's reactive. People are not proactive. This is a crisis where the media should be more involved in educating the people. Saying that we are in this crisis. So when you educate the people are in a position to tell the leaders, boss, enough of damage. We can't take this anymore. So media has to play a bigger role, and I always keep appealing to all the media people. Fortunately, I know some of them. So I tell them we need to do something more before it comes to us. Because we are already sinking. We are here neck deep. It's a matter of time before we are all gone. Because today it's not just India which is being battered.
Yeah.
Every part of the world is being battered by the climate change. And the climate change has been brought about by us. So when we have a crisis like this, it is important to ensure your forests are protected. And in this, especially when we talk about tiger is a flagship species, apex animal. When it is in good health, the forest is in good health. When the forest is in good health, everything is in good health because tiger is an umbrella species. Everything under that is included. So we need to ensure our wildlife is intact so that our forests are intact and our biodiversity is good for our own benefit.
So, my last question, what's a message to the young journalists who are planning to take their career in sports, and the same message for people, students, or people who want to get into forest conservation, who are watching this podcast? What's the message for them?
I mean, from the sports perspective, I would tell them, if you are interested in doing sports journalism, I see a lot of people joining nowadays these days. If you are interested in sports, then this is an industry which is growing in India today. Earlier, India was not much of a sporting country. Today, the culture has changed. There's a lot of sporting culture happening. If you look at Bangalore, the kind of sports academies which have come up, it is growing, it is spreading. So there is a great opportunity for every sports journalist to grow in this industry if you really have the drive for it. So if you are want to be somebody tomorrow to be recognized as one of the good writers, you need to work hard. There is a great opportunity. In terms of conservation, you have no other choice. You need to do something. A sports journalist has an option. He can do today and he can go there. When it comes to serious conservation work, journalists need to be hardcore and uncompromising. Because if they take up the profession, there is so much in the field. It's very diverse. Like when you talk about biodiversity in the natural world, this field itself in journalism is very diverse. So there's a great opportunity for journalists to do that. And if they can, there are people who have done that. I can name them also. Some of them have passionately gone into to do conservation work, who have studied journalism to do only that. So there is opportunities, and there are plenty of opportunities across the world as well. So if you do something, do it with a passion, do it being honest to the profession.
So, thank you very much for talking Daily Saga.
Thank you.